Welcome back. In this video, I'll be introducing you to a disc. It's not just any old disc, it's an aluminum disc. It's not just any old aluminum disc. It's an aluminum disc with one side with a taper and one side that is flat. It's made by a company called Woodtek, and it serves two very good functions. On the flat side, you can use it to make sure that your blade is parallel to your miter slots. And on the other side, you apply a sanding disc. It has a 3-degree bevel that helps prevent kickback, and you use this to sand edge of boards. It does an excellent job at sanding the edge of boards. Let's get into it. But first, once again, if you're usual, thank you. And if you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment. Let's get into this. First thing I'm going to do here, I have a little bit of my fingerprints and grease or whatever on the plate. This is on the bevel side. That's the side you're going to apply. And I don't know if I noted it, but it's made by a company by the name of Woodtek. I use a little bit of alcohol, clean off any grease. Dry it off. Nice. Have a nicely prepped surface. No, you sure I ain't got nothing on this. This particular grit is 80 grit. That might seem rough, but that blade is spinning so fast it leaves a clean cut. So I kind of bend it back a little bit and then stick it on there. Sure it's making good contact. And it's on there. Just make sure it's go around, apply some pressure. Okay, that's good. Again, one side is flat. You use that for calibration, using your saw gauge or some other type of dial indicator. I have a video on that. I'll leave a link where you can check out that video if you haven't seen it. But before we get into changing the blade, while I have your attention, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to go over a little bit again about table saw safety. I'm about to work with a blade. So, as you can see, unplug. Preferably, you want to have it up where you can see it so you know for a fact it's unplugged. Now, while we're talking about that, this is my philosophy for table saw safety or any type of spinning blade. The idea it's never come in contact with the blade to begin with. If you're looking for a solution that has to do with after you come in contact with the blade, to each his own. I don't want solutions after I come in contact with a blade. I want solutions that can prevent me from ever coming in contact with the blade. And that's what a guard is for. This is foolproof. There's no forgetting, there's no making a mistake, there's no human error. It's a guard. It prevents you from getting in contact with the blade. Now, with the addition of the anti-kickback devices like, pawls and riving knives and the clear stock guide, these are additional. You can forget this, and if it kick back, you got a guard to protect you. That's the most important thing. Okay, let's go back to the task at hand. So that's my belief. If you have a saw stop, I don't begrudge you. Once again, it's a beautiful saw. It's a well-built saw. In my opinion, it's either the top or at minimum, the second best built table saw on the market that I know of. Between it and the Powermatic is what I put as far as which one is the best. So I'm not knocking it for its build quality. I like the idea with the timing belt. I like the fit and finish. It's a beautiful saw. I have no intention of putting my wiener into a spinning blade. Let it be on a table saw or any other piece of equipment. That's what guards are for, to prevent you from getting in contact with a blade. So we're gonna remove this blade now to make it a little bit easier. Once again, it's unplugged. I'm gonna remove the shroud or guard, whatever you wanna call it. Then always make sure that this stuff is clean. Before I put it on. Make sure the arbor is clean. Now, normally, you will put a fence on this side because my saw blade tilts which way? It tilts this way. But what I did is I removed the stop to give me a little bit. I could go past 0 from being perfectly 90 degrees to the top. So I could go up to a -3 degrees or a little bit more. So it allows me to use this without putting the fence on the opposite side. Yeah, but in woodworking, guys, it's all about learning it the right way. A lot of people, I understand that everybody's gonna have formal training. And some people, they learn off of YouTube, and some YouTubers, they don't take all the necessary precautions. They themselves may have not learned it the right way, or they did learn it the right way. Some people, they don't adhere to their training. They might tell you one thing because they don't want to get into a lawsuit, but when they're working on their project, they do all type of reckless stuff. But the problem is, you watch them do that reckless stuff and then you mimic it. So I try my best not to encourage or promote bad practices. Safety, safety, safety. Read that instruction manual. It's for your benefit. So we got it in there. I'm gonna have to change my throat plate. So after you get it square, you're good. And the taper, I'll illustrate it for you. The taper allows you the wood to go in freely and exit freely without binding. There's that little 3 degrees, but it's going to make contact along the top in the middle of the blade. So let's take a board like this for example, and what I'll do is I'll mark it. And with this, you're not trying to take off a lot of material. 64th, 32nd at the most. Okay. Hope you can see this. And what I would normally do is bring the fence up to it. Just slap it until, see, like that right there. Try that. I just want to barely move it. See that right there? Let me see. Because the blade itself has a little wobble in it. And that little wobble is going to pick up. So start off with that. You see how I just barely move it? That's what I want. Okay? Now, should I have these set up already, but these help me a lot with feeding the board. And you really don't need it for this, but any little helping hand you can get to help you keep the board against air is good. Okay, great. Then I don't need a guard for this. I'm doing this primarily for dust collection reason. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna leave it off just so I can show it to you. I'll put on my dust mask. But normally I will have my hood on for dust collection reasons, because this is not a blade. This is not gonna cut my finger off. Put on hearing protection. Got my eye protection on already. Plug in the saw. Put on my air cleaner. Dust collector. Oh, I don't have my dust collector hooked up today. We're going to do it without the dust collector today. There's a reason why my dust collector is not hooked up, and you're going to find out next week or the week after. It's going to be a pleasant surprise. But I'm just going to do this one time just to illustrate it to you. So this would take off all the machining mark. If you need a finer finish, instead of using 80 grit, you could use 120. 120 would take care of any need as far as finish for staining, whatever you're gonna use. So as far as edges on boards, this is ideal. This is a perfect situation. You can cut the board a little bit oversized, like a 32nd, and you take a 64th off of each side and dial it in. And it also helps you with, let me grab a square real quick. I don't know how flat that board is, but let's hope it's flat. It will help you also with squaring. And it is, yeah. So it's beautiful. So it helps you give you a square edge also. And it's perfectly flat. Because, you know, we got a square edge, we use a square, right? We checked it. So everything's set up right. You run it through there, and it ticks off all the machining mark. And you're not gonna have snipe like on a planer. So I really like this. I'll leave you pricing information in the description, and if any of y'all have used it before, have any experience with it, leave your opinions in the comments. And again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. I have more and new exciting stuff coming and planned for the channel. Thank you and have a good day. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to be notified when new content is dropped on this channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and drop a comment down below.